Hey guys, so today we're gonna do some testing, and if I'm gonna be completely honest, this took me a lot longer than I would like to admit, just because uh, things don't work as well as I thought they would. So right now, if we do a yarn test, things are gonna fail, just because of a lot of different things. So the first thing that I didn't know is that Jest doesn't recognize absolute paths. So in all of our files, we have to go in and make sure that um, all of these things are relative paths. And that actually hurts my habit of just doing auto imports because I have to now go in and check the imports, make sure they're all coming from the right place. Um, So here, and I believe there's gonna be a couple more that we'll find after we run some more tests. This looks good. These look good. Bup, 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 bup. Here's another one. And do. Oh, also I created a payload type so that we could cast in our auth service, not our auth service, in our auth controller. So we can cast these things to payloads. So this will be payload tab, and then also make sure that it's coming from the right place, which it is. So all these functions that call for payloads, they're they're using the correct type instead of any's now. So that's in the auth service. So we check the auth service really quick, and the payload type is being used. Okay, and that's gonna save us some trouble. And and okay, so with that out of the way, we can do a yarn test again, and Jess will actually understand where the dependencies are. Now, the next problem that I ran into is that the documentation for, let me just open Chrome, do, 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 docs.nestjs. The documentation for testing is not very clear to me, at least, and it gets even weirder for Mongo, MongoDB, and Mongoose. So I believe it's in here. So if we go down to testing, all of our dependency injections, since we're using, if I can find it, inject model, we have to add a custom provider for all of these things, and as well as making sure that every one of our tests are importing Mongo and everything. And I just couldn't get it to work, so instead of doing unit tests like I wanted to, we're just going to focus on end-to-end tests, which is this file here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just remove recursively source r.spec.ts, which is the test file extension. And we're going to focus in here. And because of the Mongoose module importing thing that I mentioned, we're not going to create a test module fixture. Instead, we're just going to run the app locally and test against it. So this entire for before each, as well as this app variable, we're just going to get rid of it. And we're just going to save here. We're going to create a global variable called app. And it's just going to be pointing to our local server. So HTTP colon slash slash localhost at 3000. And then get rid of this .get HTTP server. And all we have to do now is run the app locally. So I'm going to do that. Yarn start dev. And then while that's happening, let's make a new window. And if we just do yarn test end to end, we should get just a normal pass. The ping route, the root route is hello world, and it is what we are expecting. So far so good. So now we have to do some stuff. So I'm gonna just rename, what was it, for D word? Ah, damn it. This is gonna be, we're gonna describe the root here. And this is just gonna be it should ping, which is basically what it is. And I'm gonna make another describe here. This is for auth. And here we're gonna add some logic. So first let's explain what an end-to-end test is. So by the name, end-to-end, it refers to like a user coming in and using the application. So like from the very beginning of the user's interaction to the end of it. So it'll just go in sequence of first I'll log into the app. So I go to the root, then I auth, so register and log in and all of that. And then the next logical step, and we go to the next end to end to end. So that is the basic idea of an end-to-end test. And hold on, let's check our server's still running, which it is. Yep. Alright, so the first auth thing we're gonna do is have request. That's good. So for auth, we do it should register, right? That makes sense. So let's see. First, let's make a user, and this is gonna be of type register DTO. Also, I'm also prefer end-to-end tests again instead of regular unit tests, because if you're using TypeScript correctly, this will happen. It'll scream at you whenever you write bad code, basically. So a user of this type cannot be empty. So let's fill it out. We need username, and I'm just gonna be username, and password, and let's see, where's the thing? So first we're gonna return request app, and this request is supertest, and it expects app. It expects an argument that is either an express application or just a URL. So we'll just do the URL. And we're gonna do dot post to the route, which is gonna be /auth/register. And first let's set the accept to application JSON. We're gonna send the user object that we created, which is up here, and we'll expect it to have the status of HTTP status of created, which is what we would want when we create a user. So if we just run yarn the end-to-end test again, it should pass, or it could fail. should register, we got bad request, and that is that would probably be because the user already exists or something. So with supertest, you can also get the request object, and I'm just gonna get the body of it. So this is, I'm destructuring body, so it's just similar to request.body. That's not what I wanted. Console.log body. And if we log it out, we could actually see what is being coming back from the route. And user already exists, which I don't think I created that yet. So let's create username 4 for now. And we'll run the test again. And we still have that same response. So we can now check our auth controller and check, this is the register route. So everything here looks good. And so we can check the user service now. So there we go. And we'll find our first error, which is we are not currently awaiting the find. So users, it's technically a promise, which will be undefined in this if statement. And we're prematurely sending user is already exists. So with that there, the server should restart, which it did, I think. Yeah, it did. And we could do the test again. And it should pass this time, or not. Okay, this time it is, there we go. So it failed because that user actually did already exist. And now we created a brand new user. And that's, it's annoying to always fail and like we have to restart everything. So that's where the before all and stuff comes in. So we're just gonna import mongoose, and we're basically gonna clear the database. So it's a before all, which Jest will understand, and yeah, it's gonna be a sync await function. We're gonna wait mongoose dot, what is this, connect to the same database that the server is currently connected to, so which is process.env.mongo URI, I believe. And then we're just gonna destroy everything. So mongoose.connection.db. Yeah, drop database. And then also for cleanup, we're just gonna do an await mongoose dot disconnect, and we're gonna pass in the done function. And this done function is given to us by Jest. Okay, so now if we just run the app or run the test again, it'll pass. And we do it again, it'll pass again because we're getting rid of all the data that's already there. Okay, and then we can also do some more expectation or assertions inside of this expect, and that's what I did. So when we do a register, we expect a couple things. So I expect body.token to, let's see, to be defined, right? Yeah. There's other functions too, such as to not to be defined, like string matching and then you can send a regex to create the token or such, but I'm not really that great at regexes. So user.username to be, or actually it's to equal the username that we created, which is username. And we also expect the body to not have password, to be undefined, and it's going to be body.user. Because user is a separate object inside of the response. So that should also all pass. And it does. And then we can also do another test in here. So the duplicate registration is actually something that we want to happen. So we should test for that. So should reject duplicate registration. I'm gonna scroll up so that it's easier for you guys to see. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this part. Wait. No, I'm in dim mode, so let's go do this. 29G V 44 yank. Oh, actually, 47G. Oops. 47G B. There we go. I'm still learning Vim. I'm still not great at it, but that's a side note. So in here, we're not expecting any of this. Instead, we are. Where's my I button? There he is. We're expecting the body to be an error. So actually, I'm just gonna console log it for now. So we know what it's gonna be expecting. But the status we already know, which is bad request. And don't quote me on this, but I believe inside of the describe block, all the tests run synchronously in sequential order. So this should be okay. So we're just gonna do that. And both of these tests should pass. So should register is correct. Should reject duplicate is also correct. And now we could see. This is the only thing I actually care about. Well, I guess I could add a code. So let's do that. So we're just gonna expect body dot message to equal user already exists, and we can also expect body.code to equal, and then I'm going to use the enum bad requests instead of just a number, just so we have some stuff. I don't know. So once again, we got rid of the console log, so the test should be a little cleaner. Run it again. And we are. So we have the root, which is just a ping. We have auth, which is the register works, and the reject also works. And then we have two more expectations. So should login. So let's see. Const user is this one is going to be a login data transfer object. Username, password, and we're just going to return requests dot post, and this is gonna be auth/login this time. I can just copy most of this, so I'm gonna copy that much. Oh wait, no. Yank, paste. Let's close these. And I actually have no idea what let's actually get the entire request object. Because I don't know what the status should be in this one. I hope it's not create, but we'll see. So yarn test end to end. And the entire request object should be huge. So let's see. Status code is it's still created, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, I'm sure we could override it. So yeah, normal stuff. So yeah, let's just expect the status of created. Well, I guess we could keep the created because we're creating a token. So that's fine. I could just copy these. Whatever, I'm gonna. Body. There we go. And we got rid of the console log, so we just see all the tests pass now. Alright, cool. So should ping, should register, should reject, and should log in, all of which works. So that is the first end-to-end test that we created. So we have authentication running, we have root, and the next video I'm gonna do some utility stuff. So right now these are running on the same server and database as the actual server, which is not what we want. We actually want a separate test database, so then our real data is not touched by tests. So I mean that should be easy. We just have to set up a new test URI thing. But then also, if we go to our server, all of these logs are just initialization stuff. So I also want to add in a logger that takes into account like what routes are being hit and all of that, and even the data that's going through, much like my past series. But yeah, this is the beginning of end-to-end test, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.